You ready?
Whenever you are. Come on down. It's Otwell Middle School, the place to be, where the Bulldogs rule. Inside these walls in Sikkim Studios, David and Greg on the mic. Here we go. Got the latest scoops and the hottest takes. The perfect podcast, whatever it takes. From the hallways to the games. Have you not heard that show around? Here we go. Yeah. Unleash the Bulldogs. Let's hear the roar. Talking about everything and so much more. Bulldogs Unleashed. We're live on the air. David and Greg, we're right here.
Sikkim Studios, baby. First two.
Need a great meal where the biscuits are fine. Sonic Mountain Biscuit Company there on the line.
Yum.
Looking for a ride, something slick. Andy Chevrolet, they're the ones to pick. Craving some chips and a little salsa dip. Los Rios Cantina, a fantastic trip.
Right.
We got the best sponsors. We want to thank them all for bringing this show to the halls. Unleash the Bulldogs, let's hear the roar.
Bring it.
Talking about everything and so much more. Bulldogs Unleashed, we're live on the air. David and Greg, we're right here.
Let's go, David. We out.
All right, Greg.
Man,
so we are back.
Feels good.
In Atlanta.
Back,
we were
baby.
here last year at GaETC.
But we were presenting. We were presenting.
We are presenting, and we did
got some good feedback.
We did a podcast on location. They didn't let us in the circuit lounge. We were actually
It's frowned upon.
we didn't get permission for that. We were at the very entrance of the conference center.
We kind of went rogue a little bit.
A little rogue, right?
Yeah, that's how we roll.
But I think that got us to where we are today. And where are we at today, Greg?
Look at this.
Show that up.
Where am I at?
Creators Row. And look at that picture right there.
And this is the
Creators
biggest
Row
headshot ever.
Yes.
It's actually in the shape of a ticket, so I can go to the nearest airport.
That's like having a key to the city. Get that ticket to get you in everywhere, right?
I can just walk on.
Yes.
Like it's not stand by. I could just show them my ticket. No, we're here, man. It's boarding pass. First class boarding pass is kind of passport to innovation is the theme here.
Yes.
We're just blessed, Dave. Me and you've always talked about we started this podcast as something fun, something uplifting, and that's kind of what we plan on doing today. We've got some great speakers lined up, and speaking of great speakers, homegrown, baby.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Forsyth County well represented when we come to GaETC.
Yeah.
And so on this episode, we're going to talk to a few people who are Forsyth County employees, whether they're ETC, work in the district buildings, district offices, but they're presenting. They don't just come and attend. They're sharing their knowledge with all the people here at this conference. So we're going to have them on the show. Before we do, we got to hit all the things, right?
Here we go.
So on Spotify, make sure you click on that bell, get a notification every time a new episode drops. Also, like and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. You get a notification when we drop episodes, not just Bulldogs Unleashed, but all of our episodes.
That'll take too long. Yeah.
And then if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Sikkim Studios.
So let's are we going?
Let's get into it.
Passport. Let's go.
There we go.
It would be sweet.
Man, can you hear that buzz? The buzz is in the air.
Buzz is in the air. Greg, where are we today?
Where are we?
That's a great question.
We're at GaETC.
We're in Atlanta.
ATL.
That's right.
ATL, and we've got a great opportunity here at Creators Row.
Something new. This is the first year they've ever done something like this.
You know what? And guess what? This is our first guest.
First guest ever.
First guest. Who do we got today?
Hey, we got a guy who's been a Forsyth County staple, someone I know very well.
Yeah.
Played ball with the guy back in the day.
Oh, God, we can do a whole pod on that.
We do a whole pod on that.
Goodness.
But we've got an administrator from Forsyth Virtual Academy. Phil Lyerly is joining us today. Phil, thanks for joining us.
No, this is awesome. Thank you.
No,
the man,
for sure.
the myth, the legend.
So we are so excited for you to join us today, and we always talk about at GaETC, Forsyth is well represented, right? We got a lot of people who show up to this, but this year in particular, we were looking at the rundown and looking at all the sessions that are available. FVA is well represented as well. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, even before he goes out, what is FVA? Who are you? Who do you belong to? All the things.
Okay, so we are Forsyth Virtual Academy. So we serve Forsyth County. We have had some outreach kind of scenarios in the past when we've got a sister school in Japan. We work with various other...
Just low key. Feels like in Japan.
Not next door neighbor.
Not Ohio.
In Japan.
Yeah. Japan. All right.
So we have participated in several different programs that have been sponsored by the state.
Okay.
And so we have something that we have done in the past called the Rural Project, where we're providing courses and educational materials for rural counties for computer science and that kind of thing. So that was really cool. But yeah, we are all about everything, doing awesome things for kids, and that's just kind of what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you ever get the opportunity to visit the school, man, it is like Disney World.
Well,
the innovation, the leadership, they see school, in my opinion, the way school should be seen is is different, and good different. Wouldn't you say, Coach?
It's evolved. It's different. It's not a one size fits all. Every kid is different, and you get that at the academy, right? I mean, it is specialized for kids who have, whether it's circumstances or whatever they need to fit their educational systems. You guys do a great job of that, and I love how Phil, if you know anything about him, he actually was an ETC or an ITS. I don't. Yeah. You were probably the ITS.
I was the ITS.
Part of the last the reign.
That's right. So he was been one of us, and he has worked his way up as an administrator over at FVA. And you guys are well represented this year at GaETC. Mm-hmm. I think I was talking to Taylor Stevens off camera, and he was saying 7 sessions.
Yeah. So
are being offered to this week.
So a little over 50% of what FOCO is in terms of the representation here. So super excited about that.
That's cool. And you're presenting as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Greg told me the title of your presentation.
How do you not go to it?
Run down the title for us again, and then what can we expect at this session?
Yeah, so it's called Chaos Control, Managing Mayhem. Let me see if I can remember all this. And Juggling Flaming Chainsaws.
Love that, dude. Love that. Love it.
Mayhem, juggling flaming chainsaws.
Yeah.
So will you be doing that as part of the presentation, Phil?
So got a little AI crazy the other day. I've got that. My wife would not let me juggle the flaming chainsaws. Apparently I need my hands for the keyboard, which pays the bills and that kind of thing.
Oh, hands are overrated.
That wouldn't pass security probably either. Like, sir, what are those? No, I don't need those.
So go give us a little snippet, a little peek into it, a little something, a little Easter egg.
Yeah, so I guess really the main thing is I have a very unique role. It's kind of like an ETC or ITS. It's kind of like an assistant principal. It's kind of like a business leader. It's a leader. It's all these different things. And then we are constantly putting our hands in different things because every time we can find a way to help and make awesome things for kids, we're going to.
Yeah.
And I just, for whatever reason, have this insatiable appetite to doing that.
Yeah.
So naturally, because I'm constantly running into the wall, I'm getting everything else. So there are lots of things that we're constantly juggling to make it happen. And I love that part. I love the aspect. And I think it's important because a lot of the people that are here, they're here for the innovative practices or things that they're doing. And the more things you take on, the more you have to manage. Yeah. So I guess just where the rubber meets the road, there are things that I've run into, that our team has run into, to say, okay, this is what you can do to help manage that. Because most of what happens, you come to these awesome scenarios where you got great vendors, you got great speakers, sessions, that kind of thing.
Right.
People are inspired and they get back, and then the very first no they hear, they're done.
They're done.
It dies.
They're not coming back to it.
Right. Yeah. And then, so really what ends up happening is the reason that hurts so bad is because you still have the 95,000 other things you're juggling throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's how do we manage that, kind of get it in there, and then keep that innovation alive, because it is a verb. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
A lot of people use it as a noun. Of course, as a noun. ELA folks are going to kill me after this, but it is an ongoing process. And being able to go in and keep that process, keep that alive, that's where it is. And a lot of times it starts at the basic level of keeping things rolling, and that's kind of the premise of it.
I love that. And then what's cool, because we're doing a podcast, Coach, talk to them a little. I want to dig, before we let you go, dig into a little bit of what you're doing at your school using the podcast platform.
Yeah, so
with your teachers.
And I could go on for years.
I know you can.
We had a long conversation. So one of the things that we do at FVA, I've got 70 employees around the county outside of the building. I've got 30 inside.
Okay.
So the 30 inside, the cool thing about virtual is they're very flexible with their schedules. So at any point in time, I could send out a quick email and say, hey, we're meeting in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody comes. I can bring cookies, and we'll have a nice meeting. With the people outside of the building, we can't do that. Or the people that are out, just in general, can't do that.
Yeah.
So what we started a few years ago, and I guess the running joke is, I've been talking about wanting to do podcast PD for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're still not completely there, but we're close.
Yeah.
So what we've created is kind of like a pod/vodcast where it's housed in Canvas, and we go through and create really cool slides and that kind of thing. And I do essentially a voiceover where people can listen to it on their way to work. They can do it whenever they need to, and it's more on demand. So that's kind of the premise, is getting people, meeting them where they are. It's one of my favorite things. Every time I'm having troubles with people or things, I just try to say, okay, let's call it what it is. And that way I can have people, when they're not having to deal with all these other things, they can say, all right, I've got 5 minutes to give Phil. And I'm going to listen to Phil while I'm washing the dishes or while I'm doing the laundry. It doesn't have to be while they're trying to do all the other things. And it's honestly been great. Lots of really good feedback. So we're just gonna go one up. We're gonna continue to go right on up and keep adding to it, because that's what it's all about.
I think it's brilliant to have PD in those little bite-sized
100%.
packages, and
Yes.
and this guy's not going to make it lame and boring. I mean, they got dinosaurs at their school, bro. They got stuff coming out of everywhere, man. Like, it's going to be legit.
That's right. And before we let you go, we got to make sure you get the plug in. There's an FVA Summit coming up, right?
There is.
So talk to the audience a little bit about that. Maybe they're interested in attending. What does that look like?
Yeah, so it actually comes back to where we're sitting right here. 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, me and the team came. There was a roundtable discussion for virtual ed programs throughout this state. So we got there, we started talking about different programs and this and that. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't we do this for virtual programs? So on the ride home, I remember like it was yesterday, we're like, all right, this is how we can do it. Let's find a date. Let's go back and kind of start game planning, and put together about 20 sessions, had about 15 school districts come, and every year, we start to get the communications. Hey, you guys going to do it again? And it's a blast. That's cool. And now we're slowly adding more people to it. We've got a school system from Utah that's coming this year, one from Tennessee, a couple, we tend to have about 12 to 15 from across the state. But it's awesome because we get to have a good time, learn, collaborate, that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun, but no nonsense. And that's the beauty of it. You guys, we love having you guys there.
We were able to be there last year, and it was a ton of fun. We enjoyed it.
It was great.
Yeah, and a great vibe. A lot of people there willing to learn, willing to share. I mean, we talk about in education, it's a collaboration business. We cannot do this in isolation. We have to do this as a team, and it takes a village to make it work. So, and you guys are proof of that. What you do at FVA, how you guys run your team, what you and Drew and the team up there does, so innovative, so welcoming. They let us do our content collaboration at FVA. They're always welcoming to let us come in and see what's going on. So we're excited about that partnership. We're excited maybe to do something at the FVA Summit. Possibly.
It's required.
We're good.
It's part of the contract.
We love that, and we hope that is something going forward. That partnership can continue for sure.
Absolutely.
But it is a busy day on day one of GaETC. Phil, we're going to let you go. We thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you down the road, man.
Yeah, it's a blast.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And this train keeps on going.
That's right.
Mr. Miller.
Day one at GaETC. We're not done yet.
Buzzing.
We've had many people on here. We got another familiar face.
Creators
if you're a Forsyth County representative, when we come to these conferences, Forsyth County is well represented.
Always.
And so another person who's going to be presenting, we're going to talk to her about that in just a few moments, is someone who is in our building, who helps out all the ETCs at the middle school and the high school level. We have our district ed tech coach, Dr. Angela Burgess.
Doctor in the house. We need the applause.
Yeah, we need the applause for that, for sure. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
And we were talking about this real quick, Angela, or Dr. Burgess, sorry, is how long have you been going to GaETC?
So
it's been a minute, right?
It has been. I think my first year was 2012. So
as
an
educator teacher in the classroom.
As a teacher in the classroom,
right.
French teacher still. So this should be my 13th time.
Wow.
Lucky 13.
Man. And we have our own Creators Row.
And we have our own Creators Row.
Man,
That's right.
this is
So
special.
what keeps you coming back to GaETC?
I really enjoy getting to see, sometimes it's not even like seeing new things, it's seeing new ways of presenting something. Because it gives me ideas of how I can better present with people things that I maybe just had missed or had forgotten about. One of the things that I find I struggle with sometimes is what could I present? I've been doing this for so long now. Like, what's new? Well, what's new to me isn't what's new to someone else. Something that is like, I taught someone today how to do the thing on the iPad where you can like annotate on, or like on your phone where you can annotate on the screenshot, and if you hold with the circle, it makes it a perfect circle. And that to me was that was not
That's
innovative.
life-changing.
So you have to teach us that.
It was not
That's why
innovative.
she's at district level.
It was not innovative to me, but it was like, and to someone
Yeah.
who was very smart.
Yes.
And had just never seen that
That's
before.
cool.
And so like those types of things where I'm like, oh, these are some of the things that I can still take out and do things with and show to people. Because just because it's not new to us doesn't mean it's new to someone else.
Correct.
And Angela, how does that translate to your position at the district? So you come here, you get the ideas, and then how does that typically translate to supporting our county, Forsyth County schools?
So a lot of what I do is I do tend to do a lot of the leading of district type initiatives. So common assessments right now is a big one. So I do a lot of the training so that a common message is going out to everyone, so that everyone is hearing the same kind of message. But then I get to do a lot where I get to personalize, like I get to talk to the schools and say, okay, we're done with the district initiative thing. What do your people need? What do the people in your building need?
Yeah.
And so then we can have that conversation before I come out so that they are getting something that is valuable to them, whether it's in their instruction or the way that they are creating content or whatever. I can just do
It's a personalized learning approach.
personalized
I
learning
love that.
for the teachers.
Yeah.
And that's all we can ask for as teachers is don't just give us a box.
Yes.
PD, give us
Right.
something that we actually need. I love that.
And I guess a conference like this helps you because you not only it fills your bucket and fills your toolbox, but since you're serving middle school and high school, that's how many schools?
22.
22 schools.
We're massive.
Personalizing for each school of, hey, this school wants something with School City. This school wants something with Canvas.
This school wants something about Brisk Boost. This
Yeah.
school wants something about Diffit. You know, like I get to do all those things, and it is funny when I talk to some of the vendors around here when I'll go and I'll talk to them, and they want their specialists in their product and their product only.
Yeah.
And we have to be kind of specialists in all the different things.
All the yes.
Because all of our teachers are using all of these things, and when we give our teachers options, we have to support them also.
For sure.
So I get to learn about all these different tools, which is just great. So I can go and I can say, okay, today I'm going to deep dive Wayground and just learn about Wayground. Come tell me, why are you Wayground instead of quizzes?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of tools like you mentioned, but like your heart's you got a Google heart, right? You're a Google gal.
I'm a Google girly.
All right, so tell us why you're a Google gal and why you love the Google stuff, and what's your newest thing that you're liking?
I've been playing a ton. I'm a Google person because I think it's an easy. It doesn't try to be all things to all people, making it so cumbersome and like you don't even know where to click to do your font.
Yeah.
It's just it is basic and stripped down, but that makes it an easy entry, and then you can customize it and personalize it to get the things that you need, and I love that. What I've been playing with a lot recently is Google Gemini's Notebook LM, and the plugin that is available with Canvas directly to where a teacher can create their notebook with their resources, and then can put that in Canvas for students, and students are only accessing Notebook LM through the resources that the teacher has provided.
Gotcha.
And
That's crazy.
It's really crazy. I mean, it's just, and so then they can go in and they're when they're talking to Notebook LM, it's only pulling from the resources that the teacher provided.
And so is it embedded within Canvas?
It's a link, and it's not available for everyone yet, so don't
Gotcha.
get too excited.
No, okay.
I'm working on
Hey,
it.
it's breaking news, Miller. Breaking news.
I'm
Raiders
working,
Row.
I'm working on it. It's available for Forsyth Virtual teachers.
Okay.
One of the benefits of also teaching with Forsyth Virtual is I get to be like, hey, let me try this thing out, and then I can tell everybody else about it. But I have to try it out somehow to be able to tell people about it.
So then you find a cool tool, you kind of guinea pig it, and then do you then And then does it go to the ETCs next? Like, what's the protocol?
Sometimes it'll go to a specific ETC.
Okay.
And like, hey, can you try this out with a couple of people at your school?
Gotcha.
Or sometimes an ETC will come to me and say, I have people that want to try this out, so then I'll try it and I'll go back to them. It's not necessarily always starting from one place. Starts from, sometimes the teacher will come to the ETC, sometimes the teacher will come directly to me or to someone else in our team. So that way it's very organic.
So before we let you go, you're not only an attendee, you're a presenter.
I am
Show
a
the badge.
presenter.
Show the badge.
You got the special badge.
Official
That's
badge.
right.
With the secret
swag.
presenter password
Yes.
or
Don't
the
give it
Wi-Fi.
away.
I
Don't-
didn't. I
He's
just
told me about
He's
this.
trying to get it from.
I'm trying to hijack that somehow. Get faster Wi-Fi here.
Dial up.
AOL. So tell us a little bit about your session. You're going to present Friday morning.
So I'm presenting Friday morning at 9:45. My session is called "You Can Still Make the Whole Place Shimmer."
Okay.
Becoming an ed tech coach through the lyrics of Taylor Swift.
Whoa, that's a lot to chew on, Dr. B.
Yes.
Midnights is my favorite album. Even with the new album that just came out, Midnights is my favorite album, and so that's where that lyric comes from. And for me, it comes from a point where I wasn't necessarily feeling like shimmering and sparkling, because sometimes when you leave the classroom and you're not in front of students every day, it can be hard to keep that. And so I was feeling a little bit like that way. And then Midnights came out, and the Bejeweled song was my first entry, and I was like, I think I just fell in love. And I had not been a Swiftie before.
Nice.
Which is crazy because we're having Taylor Swift right after her. So that's what a great segue.
How perfect.
My daughter would love that. That's Taylor Swift inspired.
So then it's focused for mostly
For people who are
ETCs,
for
district.
people who are interested in, sometimes I've already presented it once, a similar thing at ISTE over the summer.
Okay.
And I did a poll before, and I was like, how many of you here, not because you have any desire to become an ed tech coach, but just because you want to talk about Taylor Swift? And I did have like 5 people raise their hands, and then halfway through the session, I said, okay, how are we feeling now? Are any of you interested? Are you still interested in becoming an ed tech coach, or are you still only here for Taylor Swift? And no one raised their hand at that point. Like everyone was was getting something out of it.
That's good.
So
I
it's
love
just it's just a fun. It talks about the differences between teaching adults and teaching students. Teaching the different generations, because when you're an 8th grade teacher, all of your kids are the same age. But when you're working with adults, they are all different ages and they all have different learning styles.
You got people fresh out of college who are in their low 20s, and
Or
you
old
got
people like
who-
us.
who are cranky and old like me and Greg.
You've got all kinds of
Kicking
you've
around.
got all kinds of ages, and they all have different needs of
Yes.
the way that they need to be. To the way they need to be taught and the types of help that they need.
Yeah, well, you do a great job of that.
I
We love it
agree.
anytime you visit Otwell, and you're welcome every time. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to let you go. There's more sessions to be had today, and looking forward to your session Friday morning.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great afternoon.
You too.
Thank you.
There you go. That's a better angle.
Man, it is another day here.
Day 2.
Day 2, and we've added another chair.
Another chair, another microphone.
Another mic.
more
I'm
headphones.
going to get my tea here.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us who we got?
Hey, we got some couple of ETCs, like we talked about before. Forsyth is well represented here at GaETC.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Dane Ferlenza here. We got Bradley Robertson. They're ETCs at the elementary level in Forsyth, and so we're glad to have these guys joining
Let's
us today
go.
for day 2.
Day 2.
We got the itty bitties.
So what
Littles.
schools? What schools we at?
I'm over at Salisbridge,
Okay.
southern part of the county.
Okay.
Been there for about 7 years now.
All in the ETC role?
Yeah, the whole time. I came over from Gwinnett, did 2 years over there, and they hired me straight out of Gwinnett without any Forsyth experience to be their ETC.
Wow. It just shows anyone can get that job.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dave Miller
He still has
it.
the job, though. That's the key. He has kept the job.
It's true.
So-
Where did you teach in Gwinnett?
Oh, man. I was at Cruz Middle School, which is in the Brookwood cluster for a while, and then I was over at Patrick Elementary for 2 years. So I was at middle school, moved to elementary, and I've been there for like 10 years now. My first year was the COVID year. 2019, 2020.
You survived it.
rough
I
was
survived, man.
Bro.
15-hour days. I remember like it was yesterday in March. They were told over a weekend, "Hey, we're going to revolutionize education in a weekend for Monday.
Yeah.
Monday we're going to go straight to virtual learning. Good luck." We had 1 day.
Some PD on a fly, bro.
Yep.
No looking back from that, right?
Golly.
That's right. One Friday, and then the next day.
That was it.
The world changed, man.
Friday the 13th, that was, right?
I think it was.
It was.
It was like a March, Friday the 13th.
Uh-huh.
Yep. and that's when everything changed for us.
And no March Madness that year.
No March Madness.
That was sad.
It got canceled.
Oh yeah, we had the cardboard in the stands for baseball games. That's
that's
so
ridiculous.
weird, bro.
And the dog stadium, UGA,
Yeah.
they had that too. It's like, oh no, not good.
Yeah, you
doing
could
that.
buy like cardboard of your grandpa. Like,
Yeah.
Why?
Sitting behind
That's
the dugout.
creepy.
No,
Dude.
we're not doing that.
That's weird.
All right, now Bradley, what about you, man? Where you? What school are you representing?
I'm trying to think. I'm at the Mill.
There you go.
Whoa.
He's at the
You
mill.
guys got hand signals there?
No, I'm just making it up there. So it's original. The Mill.
Hey,
yes.
it's breaking news.
Starting it right here.
Breaking news.
Yes.
Kelly Mill Elementary, just like Dane too, was in Gwinnett County for 17 years. At one school, Kelly Riverside, and I was a kindergarten teacher, first grade, fourth grade, then the LSTC over there for 9 years, and then went back to the classroom for 2 years, as third grade, and then felt the calling to go in administration, and that was not my cup of tea, so I came over to Forsyth and did it.
You realize that wasn't your calling.
That was not my calling. No, that was not my calling.
Same. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You live and learn, and
Yes,
you
you do.
learn what your strengths are. And my strength is in technology and kids, and working with kids
Love
and
that.
teachers. So yeah,
Well, we're glad to have you on our team for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, I just met Dane this weekend. I've known Bradley a minute now.
Yep.
And Bradley's a man of many trades over here. So talk to him a little bit about what you've done with your podcast over there at Kelly Mill, because I think it's been pretty cool on the
Yeah.
elementary level.
Well, first of all, they are the OGs.
Well, that's why I set it up so you
Yeah,
give us.
there you go. Good job. I like
see
it.
what I put
He's
it on
looking
the
for
tee for
compliments
you.
from you
Yes.
first, Bradley. That's
Hitting
what
the
I did.
softball out of the park. I swung and missed a little bit there. No.
He put it on the tee for you.
Yeah.
Just gotta knock it out.
Yeah, the OGs here. I remember the day we came over to your area, and you wanted to see my drones,
Yeah.
which they're grounded right now.
Yes.
The drones are grounded
Oh,
because
because of the app, right?
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah,
have to mention
different
that.
story.
No. Yeah.
But we're
yeah.
working through some things. But yeah, and seeing the podcast that you guys had, so then I had an idea, and then at that point came back and we had Miss Tracy Smith as our principal at the time, and she was doing one of the partners education with peach skin sheets, and we just happened to say, like, you guys got the roadcaster equipment, and they said, okay, it's about $1,400, and I was like, let's see how we can get this. And
Yeah.
she says, well, ironically, we got a check from the fundraiser from Peach Skin Sheets for $1,300, and it's all yours.
Nice.
Wow.
So there you know, we got the whole setup, and at that point started doing a weekly podcast in January of 2022 or 23, I think it was. I
So
don't,
y'all do it weekly.
we did it weekly for a while. Now we're
Yeah.
about every other week,
Yeah.
kind of as needed. And
Yeah.
then, but we also got in that year 2 students doing it. So,
Love that.
and that's the nice thing is, I got an education because when people say, why are you teaching? And I go back to a story in middle school when I was at Otwell Middle School. I was an
Yes.
OG of Otwell.
Yes.
So there you go.
Were you there when
alumni.
he was there? Because he went there too.
I'm a little older for that.
He was at the old campus though, where I was at.
Old campus,
Central?
which is Central's, I guess, backside
Yeah,
campus
the
there.
West Campus, I believe. Yeah.
Correct. And so we went down to Cumming Elementary, the whole center.
Yep.
And one of the things you could do is you could volunteer at a classroom. So I went to my kindergarten teacher's classroom, Mrs. Lynn, who was
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
And I taught kids how to tie their shoes.
Nice.
And I remember this one kid when he tied his shoe, and the excitement on his face was like, you taught me this.
Yeah.
And here I was, like a 7th grade little jock at Otwell Middle School, and made me proud to see a kid get excited.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. And then I start going to college. In that first year or two, you're like, what the heck do I do? I want to be a math teacher.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, who's my wife now, my girlfriend then, she said, you stink at math. you can't
for
do
you.
math in high school. I wanted to coach and do math. And
Yeah.
she's like, you're not good at this.
No.
Because I knew her in math class, and she had to tutor me.
Love how our wives keep this on check. Like, no, you're not
Yeah.
good at that.
Yeah.
So, think of
Yeah.
something else.
Dream big, but not that big.
Not that big.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the whole thing was like, I just remember that spark I had from elementary of just going to help a kid tie his shoe, and that sparked me later on to say, what can I do in my life? And I just love helping kids. So I thought, okay, if we're doing these podcasts, we're doing video editing, if we're doing coding, robotics, different things, what can we constantly provide those kids in elementary that maybe that spark one day that will help them when they get in those moments like I did the first year of college, and you're going, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I enjoy? And then you go back to that moment of, I wish I remember the kid's name. It was so cool, but
Yeah.
I remember the exact place in this room on this little seat, kind of like these seats.
Yeah.
And him
Probably smaller to the ground, though. A little
a
shorter
little
to the
bit,
ground.
yeah, next to the sand table and the art table they had back in the day.
But here-
Back in the day.
Here's the thing with with Bradley is we might have been the OGs, but how much have we learned from this guy?
A lot.
He knew, it's like we like open it up, and then dude's like, "Did you know we could do this and that?" And I'm like, Bradley's like our little Google.
He has been.
Podcast too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So man,
Yeah.
so the partnership's been
Yes.
mutual for sure.
Yes.
Amen. That's right.
It's cool.
It's been fun. Kids enjoy it.
Love that.
And Dane, what's all right, man? Podcast.
Yeah.
Peer pressuring you. Is it coming to?
Well,
you want to break some news
so
here?
we've actually started, and it's funny that you mentioned like learning from other ETCs about what to do. Bradley presented last year at one of our ETC meetings about doing podcasts, and I was at the
with
time.
David.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with David.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, man, like these guys are doing all this great stuff, creating with kids. I was like, we need to step it up at my school, and so we don't even have the podcast equipment.
Okay.
So we started this year. There was actually a fourth grader that came to me and wanted to run a newspaper club. We had no newspaper club at our school. I was like, I guess I can sponsor that. My kids are staying after for school anyway, doing clubs. We might as well do it. And so I created it, and one of the roles that the kids can take on is to be podcasters.
That's very
and
cool.
all they're doing is recording on my video spot, which is like an audio recorder on their Chromebooks. And very much in the infancy stage right now, like I pull the audio, put it in Clipchamp, add some transitions in there, some music, some sound effects, and we published our first one actually in September, and the kids were like, they were excited. I put the QR codes to link you to it in the newspaper, sent it out to the parents, had the students be able to use it to scan the QR codes, and it's right now it was just being hosted on my Google Drive. All they are is MP3 files that are just hosted on my Google Drive, but I actually want to write a grant to get some of this fancy equipment like you guys have over here.
But here's the deal. What's cool with Dane's story is he started.
He
started.
He's gotta get
Didn't
started.
care.
Yes.
He'll get here.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people think you have to have this first,
and it holds
to
them
get
back.
started. Yes.
So,
We've had people walk up to us and they want to start a podcast. Lady yesterday was like, "What do I do? I don't have thousands of dollars." Well, you don't need thousands of dollars. If you have a mic, or if you just have a Chromebook that has a mic on it, you can actually get started with it and create something. And like you said, the spark in those kids when they're like, "Wow, I created that," and people are listening to it. That's special.
You got the voice.
Yes.
The voice.
I probably wouldn't have even done it if the fourth grader hadn't come up to me and was like, hey, I want to start a newspaper club. And then I took the newspaper club. I was like, hey, we can have kids writing articles, but we can also have kids recording podcasts to make it like so that we have different modes of media that are being published out.
Well, then we've seen it at our school and our community too. Is like the buy-in, right? Like that's the buy-in. Like you start with that, kids get excited. Then it's like, okay, how can we partner you to get other equipment? If it's for the kids, that's an easy buy-in to get those resources. So
absolutely,
that's great.
So here we are, day 2, and I know there's another session starting in a few minutes.
And we got to get them out of here.
So we got to get them out of here.
Yeah.
But before you go, I want to know from day 1, you guys both are here for day 1. Sure. What are some takeaways, some key takeaways from sessions that you went to yesterday? You're like, really, that's really cool, and I want to bring that back to my building.
Well,
anything that stood out?
My whole thing this week is trying to figure out AI in elementary education. Because that obviously is a hot topic. Everything here is AI, it seems like, driven. But how do we incorporate it correctly, wisely, responsibly, equitably for elementary kids? And I know the cat's out of the bag, but we got to make sure we're doing it right. And so we're still new at it. We're still figuring it out. Our kids hear about it.
Yeah.
But how do we incorporate that? So I had a good session yesterday with, I think it was Patrick Elementary's. What do they call them? ETCs, LSTCs, something.
They used to be
too.
LSTC, but I think they changed it to like ITIS or something. I don't know. All the acronyms are different, but the role is the same.
Yeah.
She did a great job because they're in the second year cluster, and so I knew the second year cluster is AI driven. And that's so a friend of mine taught over there last year, retired last year from there. Shout out to Jen McCarthy if you're watching, if you ever see this.
Yeah.
He's
Everyone's watching.
He's
our
the
podcast.
OG innovator. That guy's the OG innovator. If you want to have a fun guy to talk to, Jen McCarthy. Here you go. Shout out. So I'm
you got to find him.
Yeah. But he's up in Boston now teaching. Long story. Anyways,
Fly him down.
I knew the second year was kind of ahead of the game with what they're doing with AI, and so I wanted to go to that session and learn. And learning from her was really good because understanding like what are the do's and don'ts for even for that cluster of what to do and what they're using. That was my kind of like I felt good at a certain point that this is how we could introduce it to elementary, and hopefully we'll take that back to our county because we're a part of the AI committee and discuss that and get everybody's input to see what's the best. Because I can have an idea in my opinion, but I'm also open to always be persuaded. Because I know there are way more smarter people in this room than I am. So
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you're pointing that way, not this way, right? Over
Oh,
my
as
head.
the directors are behind
Yeah,
you.
that's
sorry.
what I thought. It
That's what
looked
I
like
thought.
you're pointing at me. I was like, Bradley's
He's the
mistaken.
bald head over there.
Just zoom in.
Over there.
Aerodynamic.
And what about you, Dane? What kind of stood out for you?
So I know you guys mentioned you're going to do another session with Tony Vincent. I really like his sessions because one of the things is he still goes into classrooms. Like he presents at all these conferences, but he still substitutes from now and then.
I
So
didn't
like
know that, man. I can't
Yeah.
wait to talk to him about that. That's
he
a
says
little nugget.
every
man.
time I get like a little bored, I'll go substitute in like
That's
a
so
fourth or
cool.
fifth grade classroom. And he travels to all these conferences, but he gives you realistic advice and like practical ways that you can incorporate the tools that he's talking to you about at conferences. And he talked about, he had this one session called vibe coding. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, so we're recording this on Thursday. It was yesterday, but basically talking about how you can use artificial intelligence to have it code games and activities for you. You rip that code and then you put it into some sort of hosting site, like a Google Sites, and it actually creates interactive activities that the kids can use. And
Wow.
I know, it's wild.
I know what
So a fun way to say
I don't know
rip that code.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put that on a sticker.
Rip that code.
I ripped that code.
You gotta be sassy with it.
That's right, man.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you good, man.
A lot of script there for you.
That is really cool.
That's how we roll.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here this morning. Another session starting in a few minutes. We're going to let you get off to those sessions. But we appreciate what you guys do in our county.
Yeah, well, thanks for having
Awesome,
us.
guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the podcast.
Yes. So, Greg, we're back here again. GaETC Day 2.
We don't leave. We spend the night here.
We slept here last
on
night.
the green
Yes.
carpet. What is this?
I don't know.
Hunting green
It's like
is what
turf.
Dr. Lean
Looks
called
like
it?
turf. They
we-
vacuumed around us.
We didn't want anyone to take our equipment.
No.
So we made sure.
Yeah. So we got the same table. We're still here.
Same table.
And again, like we've common theme, Forsyth is well represented at the conference.
FOCO, baby.
And who else do we have today? Another ed tech coach. This from DeSanta, Elizabeth Hubbard.
From the walk-up tree.
That's
You
right.
Can we call it from the ETC tree?
From the ETC tree.
No,
Yeah.
she's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your role? Who are you and what's your role?
Yeah.
So I am the ed tech coach at DeSanta.
Nice.
So I help support instruction. I help teachers integrate technology. I pop into classrooms. ETC stands for et cetera, I think,
I
actually.
think so. All the
Yeah,
things.
for sure. So when I was there with you, you were a social studies
studies.
teacher, and I remember the minute I was there, you were doing a lot of cool technology related stuff in your classroom. So I guess my first question would be, is that what kind of inspired you to seek out that role? Is this the
Kinda.
kind of the fun and the passion you had, and were colleagues around you kind of like teaching, like what did that look
I guess
like?
I'm technically considered like a digital native.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been comfortable with technology. I've grown up with technology. Actually, during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
when we went back to school in 2021, I thought I was going to go right back into the classroom, and instead I was asked to just do virtual.
Okay.
So that was a surprise, and I was really intimidated by that. I was ready to get back with kids, talk to kids, get in the classroom. So I had like 180 kids on my
dang.
social studies caseload. And
And when you're in person, you have like what, 120 kids
Yeah,
maybe?
give or take.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to keep up with my collaborative team and still do the same things that they were doing. So we were kind of starting from ground zero. So we planned together. They'd talk about what they were going to do in person, and then I would try to make it virtual.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work up front. I spent a lot of time building. But with that, there were kind of some lulls in the day. And that's where I could kind of just explore. And I feel like I got really comfortable with different ed tech apps. I feel like I became kind of a point person for some of those other virtual teachers. And I found that I actually really enjoyed working with adults.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the perfect role because I get to live in both worlds. But that's how I got interested in the position. But yeah, I've always enjoyed bringing that into lessons.
Yeah.
Like when I was a social studies teacher, prior to that, I was an ELA teacher.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my story.
That's great.
So tell us a little bit, if we have a question about Microsoft Teams, you're probably our person then, right? Doing all the virtual meetings? Like,
Yeah.
do you remember
Oh yeah, because that was
setting up
like
all
we
those
tried
virtual
Zoom
meetings?
and then we hopped to Teams.
Google Meets for a minute. And
Meets.
Remember Google Meets? Yeah.
I got
think
back
so.
on Teams the other day, And I guess they changed so much, and I used to not even have to think about it. And I was like, "Whoa, I'm one of those. Can you see my screen?
I can't hear your voice.
You're muted,
Your
Elizabeth."
mic's not on. Yes, I remember those days for sure.
So how many years at DeSanta now?
9 years.
No, like ETC.
Oh, this will be year 4.
Year 4. So, like, what's the next step? Like the progression in your role? Like, what do you see yourself doing, or what are you doing, like, or even currently that you're enjoying doing with staff and lead
I think
staff?
I just want to keep getting better at this job.
Yeah.
This is like a dream job for me. I enjoy it every day. I look forward to coming into work. So yeah, bettering myself, learning more, connecting with more teachers. I feel like something that I've been passionate about recently is just teacher retention, because I'm so hands-on with those new teachers and getting them onboarded.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that retention rate fluctuate.
It does. Yeah.
So I feel like I really want to make sure that new teachers, especially like the year 1 and year 2 teachers, have what they need.
That's critical.
Yeah.
And they're not overwhelmed by everything, and they can come to me and ask questions if they need it.
Yeah, making them feel supported, making them feel like you said, doors always open, phone call away, email away to help out. That's big for those teachers, because sometimes even though they have a PLC and a collaborative team, there's some things they're like, I just don't know about this, and maybe another teacher doesn't know about this tool, but I know Elizabeth does, so I need to get her in. And the more we can be in those classrooms, helping them out, showing them the value of it. I'm with you. That's where I get my joy, is just helping those people for sure.
How many years have you been at this conference? What year is this for you?
I think this is year 4.
Okay. What do you enjoy the most? Or I guess, what do you enjoy the most, and what is something that you're going to bring probably back to your school that you've learned so far?
I just enjoy the diversity of sessions. It doesn't matter if you're going to like a featured speaker or something much smaller. There's always something to take away. Something I saw yesterday was Edu Protocols, and how a teacher integrated it with technology and different things she did. Definitely, I'm curious about the vibe coding, and I just feel like there's a lot of
We were talking about that
opportunity.
off camera here. I'll let you explain, because it's above my
Sounds
head.
interesting.
I'm probably going to botch it, but basically, you don't need to be a coder now. If you can describe what you want in enough detail, like if you have an idea, I want to create some kind of drag and drop digital activity that kids can do to review whatever topic. You go to your chatbot of choice. There's even one built in Canva now, which is cool. And you can say, hey, I want a digital drag and drop. I want the text to be high contrast. I want a green check when kids get it right, or like a red X when they get it wrong. But yeah, just like a lot of opportunity there.
And it cranks it out.
And so,
have we tested this method?
I haven't tested it. Have you been able to test it?
I tried. It's funny because I learned about Canva Code and their like internal chatbot about a week ago. I heard some teacher at North created a full digital breakout room. The prompt.
I feel like I'll get lost.
They need to be here leading a session.
Yeah, the prompt I think was
Lost.
about that thick, but I played around with it a little bit and did a drag and drop activity for a teacher.
So are you just taking that code and you just putting it? Are you putting it in Canvas, in like a rich text editor box, or where's that code then going?
David's so he's
So
like, is it
the
clip
one
art?
in- I know very little about
Paint?
this.
What are we using here? No.
I know very little about this,
Okay.
but Canva will self-publish.
So
Like
just
give
do
you
it
a
within
Canva
Canvas.
link.
I got you. Okay. Cool.
But yeah,
I don't even know what just happened. I just whatever. I don't know. Where are we?
Hey, we're back at GaETC.
I don't know,
And
but that's crazy.
it is crazy.
that's-
and that was Tony Vincent's session?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
we're gonna
he
have
can
to ask-
explain
we're gonna
that.
have to
He's
ask
next,
Tony.
right?
He'll be on the show
But
later
he
today.
did an example of if you want to bring it into Google Sites, how that
Okay.
could look. Gemini can publish like a Gemini official page for you.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely check
But now
that
that
out.
we've talked to Elizabeth, we'll sound smart when you come.
Vibe coding, right?
Vibe coding. And
Vibe.
He'll start
He's like,
talking, and we're like, now I'm zoned out.
Elizabeth,
man.
where are you? Come
Help me
back.
out.
Come back
Well,
aboard.
Before we let you go, though, one thing that we're looking forward to, I know, Greg, you're talking
man,
about going to
I
this.
can't wait.
Is your session. You're presenting today.
Yes.
And you're presenting over ClipChamp. So tell the
Oh, I
audience a
can't
little bit
wait.
about what they can expect in your session.
Don't give me the whole thing. I just want a teaser.
Yes.
we
Just
won't get
some
into
nuggets.
the weeds.
Yeah.
Code vibe.
I am focusing on just how you can bring videos. I don't even want to say video projects because it doesn't have to be a full-blown project. How can you bring student-created videos into your classroom in any subject area? What I'm going to spend a little bit more time on is the Flipgrid, the old Flipgrid tools that have kind of just been absorbed by Microsoft. A lot of those are hiding in Clipchamp. So a lot of those legacy features that we really liked about Flipgrid, the board, the annotation,
That's in Clipchamp.
the green screen thing, all
Nice.
that.
Oh, I would be
When you
interested in
see-
green screen.
When you see the editor, you're
Yeah.
going to be like, that's Flipgrid. That looks
Okay.
exactly like Flipgrid.
See?
So that's where Flipgrid's been hiding.
Nice.
Interesting.
See, I thought I knew stuff about Clipchamp. Come to find out, I knew nothing
They
about
keep
Clipchamp.
changing it too.
I love Clipchamp. So I'm AV broadcast and film teacher now, and that's like their main editing tool. That I unwillingly at first got away from the CapCut and some of the other things just because the whatever policies, and I love that Clipchamp now is so integrated. The kids love it, and it's safe, it's approved, and so I saw your session. I was like, sweet. I've been kind of trying to just figure this out. So Miss Hubbard's going to bring it.
That's right.
I'm excited to see it.
She is. So let's let her get to that.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, thank you so
Right.
much for stopping
Yeah,
by.
thank you guys for having me.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, Greg, we are winding down day 2.
Are we?
Of
Don't talk-
GaETC.
that makes me sad.
It
Don't
makes
say
us
that,
sad. We need to play some
David.
sad music in the background
Wow.
of this.
That's awesome.
And we have a great guest to close the show. He is the closer.
He's shutting it down. Bring in the right. Were you righty or lefty?
I'm righty,
All right,
but-
bring it from the bullpen.
High
right.
expectations there.
Bring in the righty. None other than our
Yeah.
Chief Technology and Information Officer.
Wow.
It's a full title. I had to write it down.
That's a lot
so I
going
knew.
on.
Mike Evans. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So,
And I can't believe we've done 1 million podcasts.
Yeah.
We haven't had him in the studio.
No.
But now he's here
We
live
captured him here.
because he's on Creators Row.
We cornered him and said,
here.
Mike, please be on the podcast.
Man. How you been, Mike?
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah.
Doing great.
2 days, hanging out. I guess my first question would be, with your leadership and what title you have in our district, what's the main goal each year when you come to one of these conferences? And maybe it shifts every year. So I guess what has it been and what has it been this year when you
'cause
come to these?
for teachers, it looks different.
It's different.
we're going to sessions, we're learning
Yeah.
tools and new things that we can implement in our classrooms.
Next day, you're coaching, right? You're
Yes.
coaching the teacher.
I can take
I'm
this
in
tool,
the classroom.
I can use it with teachers the
Yeah.
next day. Not necessarily for you, right? You're coming in, you're hanging out probably in this space a lot.
Right. Yeah. My first day is usually dedicated to the floor.
Okay.
Meeting
Okay.
with the vendors. Every year I have a different focus point. So this year, actually, the last 2 years has been on AI. Looking at the different tools, strategies, partners along those lines, and then the second day, which was today, is really just hitting some sessions,
Okay,
trying to figure out different ways to learn from others, because that's the strongest benefit from this whole thing.
Now, are you looking for sessions that cater to district, or you're like, I don't care if it's for teachers, like I'm hopping in? Are you just kind of
It
organic and
Usually, the ones that I've usually been hitting are more district level.
Okay.
AI leadership.
Yeah.
Is your school district ready? So on a bigger picture. But we have such a great representation here from all of our teachers, ed tech coaches as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see many people yesterday because they were all in session, and that was an observation that I made, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that's how they're learning the best.
so you talk about AI.
Right.
What does that look like for our district specific? Because I know I've been in sessions, I've talked to different people, and it's really all across the board,
Right.
and even with counties close to us, all across the board. So where are we at with that at Forsyth County Schools?
Yeah, we tried when it first came out. ChatGPT just came out. We really set back. We didn't block it. We wanted to see the organic nature of it. And as it unfolded, that was one of the things we realized, is that we really have to start taking a look at how we're going to best implement this and allow this in the district. So we worked on our an AI working group, task force, however you want to call
Okay.
it. Jason L headed that up. And we did that to get feedback from teachers of a variety of different levels, our ed tech coaches, we have parents, we have administrators.
Bradley was
on there
talking
too.
about that on our podcast.
Yes,
Is that the same
Brad- yeah.
AI?
Robertson. Bradley Robertson.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So we utilize that to help develop our AI guidelines within the district.
Cool.
To start building out that framework. Incredible website that was developed for our teachers on AI tools, and then culminating this year where we're actually integrating AI lessons into the classroom. So training the teachers on how they can start utilizing it in the classroom, empowering the kids to use it responsibly. So it's not just that, my kid cheated again. My students, are submitting papers they didn't write. Looking at ways they can help empower the kids to do it.
I don't want to keep talking, man. Get in there. But I have so many questions to ask them. Get in here,
Well,
David.
there's a lot, and some of that impacted our school district. This year is one thing, Mike. We went 1-to-1, 6 through 12. So what does that look like on your end and in your position of you're going to roll out thousands of Chromebooks in the hands of 6th graders to 12th grade?
Of Chromebooks.
How much sleep did you lose? Are you still losing sleep? What does that look like on your
this
end?
is my 10th year as CTIO, and it was the absolute busiest year that I've ever had. The start of the year, and we had other things going on, different RFPs that we're looking at bids and whatnot. So, but the work, and it wasn't my work, it was really the ed tech coaches, the technicians. We had to really pull in every single Chromebook to redistribute them because we wanted to have the newer Chromebooks with cases in the middle school. Those are the ones that are most challenging
Yes.
with the damages going on.
As a middle school ETC, I agree with that assessment.
And then how we're going to handle the repairs. So working with our finance department on the billing aspects. So it was a massive undertaking. We've gotten great feedback. We're still working out the kinks. We'll be making changes and edits the whole year to try to fine tune it for next year also.
And two, in your role, you got to be thinking not just this year. You're thinking next year, 5 years in advance. What are some things that you're
he's
thinking?
like a coach. He's recruiting.
He's recruiting.
The pipeline.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got to make sure that things that are happening.
Yeah.
So, what are some things like down the road, the next few years, 3 to 5 years, that you foresee Forsyth looking into as we continue to grow?
I like that question. Like breaking news.
That's a really good question. So as we're looking at now, granted. We haven't had great global conversations about this, but one of the things we have to take a look at what is the classroom going to look like? 7 years ago we added the interactive flat panels. Great, fantastic tool. The intent was to have the engagement at the board, the kids at the board. Does a lot in elementary school, but looking at middle and high school, how much are the kids actually at the board utilizing it? But then, as technology is evolving, we could spend another $15 million to replace all their interactive flat panels or look at a different vision.
Yeah.
So like a Chrome classroom where the teacher might have a Chrome device where they can actually untether and walk anywhere from the room controlling the board because it's a Chrome device.
That. Yeah, and it
now
talks to each other.
Yeah,
I like that.
Instead of spending thousands of dollars on an interactive flat panel and a commercial grade TV, and the kids now are 1-to-1, so the kids can screen share across the board. The teacher can collaborate a lot more with them as well. So we're looking at that as kind of one of the next potential visions.
I love that.
See, here's your deal. Mike's a humble dude, so he's not going to say this. I know Mike forever. Mike was like, I guess you're technically my first mentor, right? Because I didn't take over your class by no means, but you were in the second grade, same school, same classroom. You had some good words of wisdom for me as I hopped in 21 years ago, Mike.
Yeah. I left second grade, and you moved into the classroom that I was in
to be an ITS.
Well. Right, exactly.
So this is what I appreciate about Mike, Mr. Evans here. I keep calling Mike. It should be probably Mr. Evans.
It's Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans, yes. Is that the reason that he sees it at that level is because he was a quality teacher.
Yeah.
Right? Honestly. So even though you've been out of the game a while, what I love about you and being under your leadership is you have the voice of the teacher in mind. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but a lot of times that's not the case when you get to that level of leadership. Right. So I know for me personally, I know David probably can attest as well, that's something that I've appreciated is you're making these decisions. Yes, financially we want to be responsible, but it's like, what does that look like for the end user?
Right.
Which is us and our customer. And that's what I appreciate about you, Mr. Evans, is that you take all that in consideration of, like you just said, 7-8 years ago, that board was everything.
Right.
Like now it's maybe just a projector. Like my kids are all over the place now. So I appreciate, and I guess to my question to that statement would be, how do you make sure that you stay relevant in the classroom? It's not like you're popping in and being a substitute teacher, or you're coming back into class. So how do you stay relevant? Because that's tough for teachers.
My wife's a teacher in the district, so she keeps me grounded all the time, making sure that I viewed it with the teacher lens. But I think that's always been my focus. The things that we do, we put the student first. How does it impact the classroom? As we're going forward, I think that's always has to be the vision of what we're doing. Any decisions that we make, also.
Well, we know too, Greg, personally, when we had a vision of doing a podcast and doing some equipment, what do we need? Who do we go to? We went to this guy. We had him. We had some other people from his team come in, look at what we were doing, what could we change, how could they help support us? And he was willing to support us and help us. Like he has boots on the ground. He goes and sees what people need, what's going to be effective, and you do that. And we can't thank you enough for that, for sure.
Well, I
Seacom
appreciate it.
Studios, man, is not where it's at without Mr. Evans and the whole
That's
crew
funny.
and all the people.
It is not.
So do we have to give him royalty on everything? Like 10% goes to Mike Evans?
Yeah, there you go.
Part of the retirement. We'll put it in TRS. for him.
TRS.
Just a little, like a little line in the credits or something. At the
3
end.
something like
cents a
that.
quarter, he gets
Yes.
a check from
It's funny that you had mentioned that because I actually talked to our HR director just the other day about how do I go about substituting at a school. I want to go ahead and once a month. I want to go ahead and just substitute all day.
Bring it. Come on. I want you.
You're going to sign him up for your class, Greg.
GATC next year.
He's covering your class for those 3 days. No.
To make sure that you stay
that's
connected
cool.
also. So that's funny that you had mentioned that.
Yeah. So how long have you been in this role, Mr.
This
Evans?
is my 10th year in this role as
It's a
CTO,
decade.
right?
Yes.
Again, this role.
You
I'm
still
old.
love it? You
I'm
still
old.
love it?
You know what? When you look at all my previous roles, 3 or 4 years, and then I do something different and a variety of different experiences. So this is the longest role that I've ever had. But the thing is, with technology, it changes so rapidly.
Always.
It's kept me on my toes the whole time. So yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
So it's never really the same job
No.
because it's constantly
Just
changing.
tech is- that
Every
makes
year is
sense.
something different.
Yes.
If I could ask you, what brings you the biggest joy in your job, and what brings you the biggest challenge? What would you say?
I think the biggest joy is any opportunity we have to, get in the classroom where we hear the success stories of amazing integrations with technology in the classroom and how teachers have really just excelled, because we have some phenomenal teachers that are out there. The challenges, or I think that always comes down to the fact that, doesn't grow on trees. There's so many things that you'd want to do that we want to do, but you're always constrained by the amount of money that's available.
That makes
to it.
sense.
So, looking at different ways, and you all have done a fantastic job, and other schools have done things where they've worked with business partners to help fund specific things too. So, anytime we have to say no to something because, we don't have it in the budget, and I got to tell you, most of the time I'll try to find ways to fund it if we can.
You will.
Yeah.
If you know what's best for kids. And that is frustrating as a visionary.
Yeah.
You see 7 moves ahead and know, those got price tags.
Correct.
Well, luckily for us, he has that patience. We don't have patience, Greg. He has that patience of, all right, it's not on the budget for this year, maybe next 2 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He can see that vision for where we want to be. So, no, we appreciate that. We're not going to keep you, Mike. We know you're busy. You got more people to mingle with, and there's some pictures and sticker swaps and stuff happening right now. So we just thank you for your support in our district and what you do.
Thank you,
Mr.
thank you
Evans.
guys for what you do.
Absolutely.
Great work with the kids and really trying to help promote and lead them to the future too.
That's awesome.
Well
Thanks,
done.
Mike.
And that will do it for this episode of Bulldogs Unleashed. My name is David Miller, reminding you to dream boldly. Thanks again.